Saudi Arabia began a fierce bombardment from the air, of course, with their latest in American warplanes on the people in Yemen. The airport in Sana'a was mercilessly bombed. Dozens of civilians, most of them children as it happens, have been killed. More airstrikes are reported by the hour. Of course, Saudi Arabia had to admit that it had consulted the United States before invading its neighbor, Yemen, before beginning something that may last a very long time and be very momentous in its consequences. The United States, of course, could not deny that which Saudi Arabia had just announced. So they went further. They said that they had formed a joint command cell with the regime of Saudi Arabia, unelected, undemocratic, barbaric, and all of that. The United States government had formed a joint command cell to coordinate the attacks on Yemen by Saudi forces. And just in the last hour, the Israeli defense minister has announced that Israel too will back what they described, I don't, but what they described as the Sunni axis, which has begun this war. Let me tell you my own position on this. I have only two that I would like to adumbrate. The first is, I'm against the division of Yemen. I always have been, and I always will be. So the territorial integrity of one state in Yemen is what I believe in. Secondly, I believe in a government of national unity. There is no way that the rebel Houthis can govern Yemen alone and for any significant period of time. But you know what? The attempts by Saudi Arabia and their useful idiots on Twitter to claim that this is a Sunni-Shia conflict that's going on in Yemen are either fools or liars, because the Houthis are in apparently unbreakable alliance with the much larger force who are not Shiite and who are the supporters of the deposed president Ali Abdullah Saleh, the president who was deposed by violence that took place over many months and which I myself supported. I supported the revolution that overthrew Ali Abdullah Saleh, not because he was a Sunni, not at all, but because I believed that the people of Yemen deserve better. So what we have now is a confrontation between the Shiite Houthis, the Sunni supporters of the former president Ali Abdullah Saleh, fighting against an axis of Saudi Arabia, the United States of America, Israel, and Al-Qaeda. Does that sound familiar to you? Do you recognize that from any other conflicts, confrontations going on in the world? Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Israel, the United States, and Saudi Arabia? For me, it's all too familiar. Now, for the idiots on Twitter, I am not a Shiite. I am not a Shiite. I am not opposing the Saudi invasion of Yemen for any religious or sectarian reason. I am opposing any, all, every foreign invasion of any, all, every Arab country. Can you get that? Now, who knew that Saudi Arabia had such a powerful air force? Certainly not the people in Gaza, who were slaughtered in the thousands just last summer, and Saudi Arabia did not lift one finger to help them. Never mind not sending its warplanes. They wouldn't even send a Kalashnikov bullet for the resistance in Gaza to continue their fight. They didn't even give a real to the starving people in Gaza, even though they promised billions of them. These treacherous snakes are not Sunni. Do you think they're Sunni in the casinos in London, in the bordellos in London, when they're belly dancing for Netanyahu? There is nothing Sunni about these people. Those who were being slaughtered in Gaza, every one of them was a Sunni, and Saudi Arabia didn't lift one finger to help them. These sick hypocrites who run the dictatorship in Saudi Arabia have nothing to do with Sunni, nothing to do with Islam. I really must knock something on the head. This is nothing to do with Sunni versus Shia. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Most of the people in the popular revolution in Yemen are Sunni, not Shia. Sunni, not Shia. The Houthis are Shia. The Zaidi supporters of Ali Abdullah Saleh are not Shia. And so please resist this foolish sectarian game where they try to divide the Ummah on a sectarian basis, and one part of it asks the United States and Israel to do the fighting for them. Please, please, please resist it. And dirty, but I live in London. I see them. I know what they do in London. It's not that they are Wahhabis. They can be Wahhabis. That's not the problem. The problem is they're corrupted hypocrites who are doing everything but practice Islam. Their friends and allies are the enemies of Islam. And yet they want to fool idiots amongst the Ummah that they're fighting somehow for Sunni. Sunni. The people in Gaza are all Sunni. And you left them to die. You left them to be slaughtered. You're leaving them starving. Sunni? Really?